episode 206 of Coffee and Co-Read, your source for all things literary with Kristen.
And Catherine, where we believe there's nothing better than a hot coffee and an awesome book. Join us for our virtual book club, where we take one book a month and dive into all of the drama, adventure, and romance we can find. Hey, Kristen.
Hi, Catherine.
So this week we figured we would talk about werewolves in general, werewolf books, tropes that happen in werewolf books, aka nodding.
Yeah.
I guess there's a lot of alpha, omega, beta in werewolf books too, is another part. Not as much, obviously there's an alpha in these books, but there's not as much the other stuff.
Yeah, and I guess we just want to, sort of discuss, aspects of werewolf books we like, things that maybe we're not as much fan of. I do find the genre in and of itself really interesting because there seems to be very little disparity in werewolf books. You know what I mean? Typically the werewolf books, they can transform into a wolf. Usually they don't need the full moon, but sometimes they do. They all enjoy running. They're all in a pack unless they're rogue. The tropes are always the same. And I find it interesting that, vampire books are not similar. You know what I mean? Vampire books, it's whatever you read, that was a lie. Vampires aren't really like that. But then some other books are like, oh no, all of those things are true. Exactly like that. Yeah, and then you've got your real outliers like Twilight, where they sparkle in the daylight. So
That's so true.
It's just interesting how the vampire lore is so widespread and so different, and yet werewolf lore is always very similar.
Yeah, that is true. I guess I read probably more vampire books than I do werewolf books. I don't feel like it's had the same kind of, and I feel like we've already said that, I don't feel like it's had the same kind of resurgence that vampire books have had. I feel like there were more werewolf and vampire, all that supernatural books when we were younger, and now I just am they're coming back, but I feel like werewolves aren't coming back as hard as vampires.
So I sort of had the opposite take, but that's because I'm more in the Kindle Unlimited world, maybe. And I find there are so many more werewolf books than vampire books.
Oh, yeah?
And, not just werewolves, but, shifters in general.
I feel like shifters there's a lot of.
Yeah, bear shifters, panther shifters. I've even seen fucking, fox shifters. It's really interesting, I guess.
Shifting into inanimate objects.
That would be ridiculous. And then what,
there are. There's a door.
I can shift into a plant, and then
there's
I
a
can
fork.
What is it, asexual reproduction, because I'm a plant.
No, they have real sex.
What? A door?
Yes.
How does a door have sex?
I'm assuming the doorknob. I haven't read, I don't think any of them, but there's a pillow one. There's a lot of these.
No. I've never heard of this.
I saw one that was a chicken nugget and a lot of different kinds of dips.
So wait, one person transforms into the chicken nugget, the other person transforms into the dips?
Yeah.
No.
And I don't know if they actually transformed into dips or if the dips were just
there.
And
the person's just getting a bath as a chicken nugget?
Yeah. But it was sexual. Anyway, I didn't read it, so it's really hard. This is just secondhand knowledge.
Why did you not read it? So that you can report back.
I don't know.
Ugh.
But yeah, there's a lot of shifting.
Yeah,
into something.
Yeah, shifting books are really popular.
But a lot of fae books have shifter tendencies too, and fae obviously is super popular.
Yes, yeah. Fae is the in sort of supernatural creature right now. But yeah, I do agree with you. Like, yes, fae shifts, that sort of adds to that component.
Yeah.
But when I mean shifter, I sort of do more mean like the humans, even though they're not human, but like,
yeah,
not fae.
Yeah, but I just think like the fae that shift completely into like Tamlin shift completely into a separate beast.
Yes.
But yeah, that was a tangent that we went on.
Oh my god. This is a whole, like, I want to find one to read just for science.
Oh my god, but people talk about them all the time
Where?
On my Instagram.
Oh. We know what your algorithm says.
And I haven't read them because I just don't have Kindle Unlimited right now, but yeah.
Anyway, so the one thing that I will say that sort of differs in werewolf fiction is this idea of nodding, which we did sort of bring up in Bride.
Yes.
We did sort of talk about it when we did Bride. But it sort of comes up a little more, would you say, in this book?
Yeah. I haven't finished it this time, so hard to say.
What do you mean?
But, like, I've read it
right.
before, but trying to think of both books, how much it comes up. Yeah, because I guess in Bride, it was really only the very end.
Yes. Whereas this is not so much. So
not just the end.
Just as a reference, because not many people, like, not that I say not many, I'm sure so many people know what nodding is. Not everybody knows what nodding is.
No, you messaged me the other day about it, and you were like, someone you know was asking you.
Yes, somebody that I work with was reading, I believe it was Bride, actually, and asked, like, what is happening? Why is there a balloon involved? And I tried to explain it as best I could, but, like, in all fairness, it is a wackadoodle idea.
Yeah.
So, the idea of nodding is that a male werewolf, when he is having intercourse, the shaft of the penis near the base, after ejaculation, it swells kind of like a balloon, just the base, and sort of locks the penis inside the vagina so that it keeps the semen up there to result in
longer.
Yeah, so that there's a greater chance of the female werewolf getting pregnant. So
yeah,
obviously for our pal Misery, who's a vampire, her anatomy is, I don't want to say not compatible with this idea of nodding, because like they make do, and she doesn't hate
it. No,
but like it is more geared towards werewolves having, like, you know, they have the vaginas to be able to withstand that ballooning.
Yes, and it
triggers multiple orgasms too.
Yeah, it does. It is because it actually happens in dogs and canine.
Is that why?
Type animals, yeah.
Didn't know that. Although,
yeah, so it's
what? I feel like we've talked about it before, and maybe this has come up.
Possibly. But wild. And I hate that I'm looking at this, but it says that for domestic dogs, the tie may last up to half an hour or more. Wild to just be stuck together. Wild.
Yeah. I agree. I find it inconvenient, we'll say.
Well, yes, especially, like, in Bride, they have a kid running around.
Yeah.
And they've got to be like, now we're stuck together for 45 minutes.
Yeah, and, like, there's no such thing as, like, a quickie.
Yeah.
Unless he, like, pulls out before the
Comes.
knot balloons.
Yeah. And it seems like it in the books we read, it seems like it starts to balloon before the wear comes. But I don't know in dogs exactly how it works. I'm not up on my dog anatomy yet, and I don't think I ever will be.
No.
So
Neither am I.
Yeah. But yeah, it's wild that it's a thing.
Yeah, and I will say that it is interesting that, like, that is the one aspect that people pick and choose whether to keep or get rid of.
Yes. Do you mean
in werewolf books?
Oh, okay. Yeah. In different werewolf books. I was like, the one thing that they choose to take from dogs back to werewolf books. It was like, interesting. Yeah. Go on.
But, like, Jacob, we ain't hearing about no nodding.
Oh, gross.
We're not.
Not yet. Apparently she's going to write a book about Jacob and Renesmee.
Oh, I don't like that. She's a baby.
Yeah.
I don't like it. I don't want to read about that.
I've seen a lot of people disgusted by it, and I haven't heard anything about the book in ages, so I don't know if, like, she decided against it because it's disgusting.
I don't know.
That would be smart. It's really bad, especially given the political climate and the fact that everybody's a fucking pedophile right now.
Yes, yeah.
So.
Yeah. Okay.
On that
note, before we get started, I just want to do a huge shout out to one of our listeners who commented on our Spotify last week that for some reason technology hated me. And when I merged our two tracks together, because that's how I make our thing, is we record separately and then I smush them together. If anyone has a smarter way to do that, I'm really all ears. I'll listen to whatever you got. So for some reason, when I created that MP3, it just decided I didn't exist.
Yeah.
But, like, I had already listened to it, so I didn't feel the need to... I listened to it simultaneously as, like, two tracks in one piece. So I was like, well, obviously it's gonna sound the exact same, smushed.
Yeah.
So I didn't bother listening to it again. I just, like, uploaded it and went about my day.
And then it was just me talking and laughing to myself.
You talking and laughing to yourself.
I didn't listen to it because I would have died of embarrassment.
Yeah. Real great. Yeah. Production value is at an all-time high.
A 50% production value.
Yeah, you can really
because it's only 50% of the thing.
You can really tell that we get paid for this shit.
But obviously, in the part where you're talking, it's probably
nothing.
Ridiculous.
Mostly just nothing.
Yeah, and me just being like, uh-huh.
Yeah.
And then like just random.
Anyway, so shout out to that person. I didn't ask if I could name their name, which is why I'm not, but like...
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please reach out anytime we fuck something up.
Yeah. Again, I'll repeat it a third time. Technology is not my friend.
That is fair.
Ever. Anyway, so I guess we'll get into it. Just a heads up, this is not a spoiler-free zone. Things get saucy, maybe? I don't know. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't remember where things stop.
Yeah. So we are reading Mate by Ali Hazelwood. This week we are reading chapters 11 to 20. So, last week we sort of caught up with Serena, who is a wolf hybrid with a wolf-human hybrid, who is Misery from Bride's best friend. She's been hiding out in a cabin in the middle of the fucking nowhere, and because she considers herself dangerous around her family, because she went to the doctor and she has this disease that is terminal. It is killing her, called CSD. So she is dying, and she didn't want to tell her friend, so she went to the middle of nowhere. However, there are people are trying to kidnap her. So Koen, who is her mate, even though they don't act like mates, like they're not pursuing anything, he came to rescue her, and he is bringing her to his territory because she convinced him to. She does not want to be around Misery and Lo's little sister Anna, who is only 7 or 8 years old, because she doesn't want her to get hurt. So she is going with Koen to his territory, so that the people that are trying to kidnap her are led far away from Anna, especially. So that is where we left last week. So this week...
Succinct. Good job.
Thank you. I really tried my best. So this week, the little epigraph at the... Is that what it's called? Epigraph at the top? Yeah. Is an unknown number texting, and we know it's Koen because all of those little epigraphs are Cohen's point of view. So he said, so it's an unknown number saying, "You are now in charge of my sister, so I will fuck you up if she gets hurt. I will steal your identity. I will send emails to everyone in the pack about how much you like to snuggle. I'll sell your info on the dark web. I'll clone your credit cards and buy a smart car." And we get by this point that it is Misery who is sort of threatening Koen because he is taking Serena to his territory.
Yeah.
And it was just funny.
Yeah, Misery is super techy, we know
from Bride. Yeah. So, the very first thing we read is that Serena napped for 3 hours on the car ride to Koen's territory. And I'm saying good for her, because one of the things that she has been struggling with is getting a good night's sleep because of her condition. He brushes the hair off of her cheek, and she likes it. She doesn't... I can't say she likes it. That's not what she portrays. It's that she doesn't coil away from it. She doesn't hate his touch the way she's been hating everybody else's.
Interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. It's I wonder why that's obvious. They get out of the car and just go for a walk around his town. And he says it's the town of Olympia, which I feel is a real town, and I wonder is it in the state of Washington? Olympia sounds like Washington.
Listen.
And it's on a coastline.
We're from the Canada.
The Canada. We're also from the east coast of Canada. So,
I don't know anything about this geography. That they keep mentioning things, and I'm this means nothing to me. Pass.
But, I feel it's Washington.
It is, because it is based on actual U.S.
But, just think, just think about it, and I could be off base. Remember in Twilight... And they are in Forks, right? Forks, yeah. Which is in Washington.
Yeah.
Isn't the town, the slightly bigger town that they go to, don't they go to Olympia?
That's not... I can't remember.
So Olympia is in Washington. Well, there is an Olympia in Washington. That doesn't mean it's the only one. Oh, Olympia is the fucking capital of Washington State. So, whoops. So I did know at least that Olympia was in Washington. Yay! 10 points for me. Sorry to...
How painful that was for anyone who knows.
Yes, very sorry. But, yeah, I could have sworn...
I'm trying to remember, and I'm trying to look it up.
Yeah, I'm trying to Google it. Ugh, AI is terrible.
Yeah, it is. La push. It's like, no.
Anyway, we'll move on. But yeah, so the whole setting of Koen's pack, like his territory, is Olympia in Washington. Makes sense. He calls his territory the Northwest.
Mm.
And if there's anything that Washington is, it's a bit north and it's a bit west. Actually, I'm sure it's very north and very west, but I'm not prepared to go there.
To Washington?
No, to saying that it's very north and very west, because I could be wrong.
Yeah.
So she is, like, in awe of this, like, coast, and, like, she thinks it's very beautiful. So, like, she is super impressed. So, obviously, we're like, oh, of course, she loves it there. She's gonna stay. And, like, it's funny because there are humans and wolves in various states of, like, activity all over the place. She's like, there are wolves just, like, trotting around and, like, in the park, just lolling.
I'm sorry, but it's Port Angeles.
Oh, is that where they go?
Yeah. I knew it started with a P. Anyway.
Thank you for finding that out. That was helpful, actually. Okay. I appreciate that. I was wrong, everybody.
No, but you were right about knowing...
that Olympia was in Washington.
Yeah.
I don't know how I knew that.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, thank you. Anyway, so yeah, I just think it's funny that, like, there are these wolves just, like, milling about, like, on all fours. Like, do you think they're allowed in the stores? Or do you think it's, like, I guess... a no shirt, no shoes, no human legs sort of a thing?
Yeah. Like, I guess they're allowed to go in clothesless? Why not?
I don't know.
It's how they live.
So, he brings her to, like, a cabin, and she's initially worried that it belongs to, like, a girlfriend or something. And I'm like, it's just an odd thought to have.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I digress. Like, you do you, girlfriend.
Yeah.
But it's just his house. And, like, she walks in and she loves the smell. I'm like, oh my god, how clueless are we? And she's like, it smells good and warm and calm and safe.
That's good for her.
Yeah, she needs somewhere good and warm and calm and safe.
It's true.
And she says that it's as if he took his shirt off and gave her permission to lick his skin.
Ew.
And I'm like, that is oddly specific.
Actually, when I said ew, I thought you were going to say lick his shirt. No. And I was like, that would be so gross texture-wise. Not so much against licking people. I think that's less weird than licking clothes.
Yes, I would agree with you. But still weird that, like, her initial thought was that.
Yeah, you'd think she'd be, like, snuggling in and sniffing.
Yeah.
Because she's not licking the house.
Yeah. So...
licking the air.
She says that, like, his house is pretty sparse. There's a really nice dining room table that he made himself, so we learned that he's a wood carver or woodworker or whatever. And he's just like, if there's anything you need, just give me a list. I'll get it for you. So, like, if you want more furniture, I'll get more furniture. And, like, she understands then that she's like, oh, he wants me to stay here. But she is legit worried about, like, getting into having a violent outburst and hurting him. Even though, like, he's an alpha, she's still worried about hurting him. So she doesn't want to stay with him. But of course she can't tell him that.
Yeah.
So she tries to, like, joke and be like, oh, you won't want me here. I'll be poking around all of your stuff. And she's trying to tell him, like, oh, you know, I'm still new to this whole werewolf thing, so I can't tune out, like, city sounds yet. So, like, I need to be more isolated. I need to be by myself. But he's like, no, you're going to stay exactly where I put you. Because he's an alpha. And he isn't used to being told no. So she tries again to be like, no, I really would prefer to be by myself. And, like, she's like, I don't want to be a burden or an imposition. And he's just like, you don't want to be a burden, yet you asked to be bait to lure the vampires away from Anna, and you asked me to help you. So, like, you can't say you don't want to be a burden or an imposition, because you kind of already are.
What did she expect, though? Like, the whole point is for her to be bait. So she's going to need somebody watch, like...
I'll say that
I
feel like it was a really big ask for somebody she barely knows. Like, this is a pretty severe favor. It's pretty significant.
To let her be bait?
Well,
or
no, to, like, ask him to essentially protect her so that she can be bait.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Sorry. My brain.
Anyway. He just says, like, if it makes you feel any better, I'm not going to sleep in the cabin. I'll be sleeping outside. And at first I was like, oh, I don't want him to sleep outside like a gentleman. I want him to go in. But then we learn that, no, he actually sleeps outside every night anyway.
Yeah.
I don't understand how his smell is all over the house, though, if he doesn't...
use it.
Yeah, but whatever. So she again tries to be like, I really would rather stay by myself. And he's like, okay, I'll make you a deal to prove to me that you can stay by yourself. Because I guess he's worried about her safety. So he brings her to a gym, and there's a woman there named Brenna. And Serena's like, oh, she's so beautiful, but she's tough. Like, she's not going to take anyone's bullshit.
Yeah.
And Koen just tells Serena that if she wants to stay alone, she needs to defeat Brenna in hand-to-hand combat. Since, like, the people attacking her could be highly trained vampires.
Mm-hmm.
So, she's like, yeah, okay, fine. Not admitting that she's actually better than they probably think she is, because she's taken a bunch of self-defense classes with Misery. So, like, she does have some skill.
Yeah.
So, her and Brenna, like, spar, and they sort of chat while they do. And she has some sort of, like, a little bit of that fuck-off humor that Misery has. So, like, Serena's like, oh, I kind of like her.
Yeah.
So she gets sort of like a vibe off of Koen and Brenna, so she, like, straight up asks Brenna if her and Koen are together. And she essentially says, like, yep. And she asks, like, how long they've been together, and Brenna's like, oh, we're not together anymore, we broke up. And that's when Brenna sort of knocks her over. And Serena's like, did you break up because of me? Because she's worried that being his mate meant that, like, he would immediately give his current girlfriend up. And Brenna's like, you know, you're not the hub of everything in the world. It's not all about you. And just says, we actually broke up, like, ages ago. And I do agree, like, it is, I see why she thinks that maybe it could have something to do with her, but, like, girl, lower the ego. So, while they're sparring, like, Serena does manage to get in a few good jabs. And that sort of makes Brenna be like, oh, she's actually not bad. I actually have to, like, work at winning.
Try.
And it just, so, after, like, the few jabs, it seems like the majority of this fight takes place in a body lock. So,
yeah.
Brenna puts Serena in a body lock and, like, pins her to the mat. And she tells Serena that she knows nothing. And that Koen could use an adult instead of a cute little ball and chain that only weighs him down. And I'm like, you're literally about to tell her that, like, spoiler alert, you're literally about to tell her that he, like, that she's not good enough for him and, like, that, you know, she shouldn't be with him and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, what do you mean he could use an adult? He can't, we're not there yet, but he can't use anybody.
Yeah, true. That's stupid. You're right. I was like, why are we having a bitchy cat fight?
And, like, I will say that everybody that gets involved, like, even the characters that I enjoy, I hate how they treat them together as a unit.
Yeah.
Like, she's not the first one to say, like, you shouldn't be here. Or, like, I hope you leave. Or, like...
Yeah. And then, like, even the people who like her kind of...
do the same thing.
Infantilize her. And, like, they're like, oh, you're so cute. We love you so much. Like, they don't treat her like an equal.
Yeah. Yeah, I was just sort of like, we're gonna learn in a little bit that he can't have anyone, so why say he could use an adult when it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I know.
Anyway, Serena sort of counters that, like, yeah, she is kind of ignorant to the whole werewolf culture thing, but, like, people also haven't been honest and forthcoming with any information for her, so, like, what is she supposed to do? Yeah. I feel like a Google search might help. Why? Everything is digital.
Yeah.
And Brenna's like, okay, ask away, because, like, I'm not going to baby you.
Finally, in this book. But also, she doesn't need to be such a huge bitch about it.
She is immediately bitchy. And it's sort of going back to your comment on, like, last week about Serena and, like, just literally taking the bare minimum because...
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, I kind of like her when she's a straight up bitch to her.
Yeah, and there's a difference because, like, obviously she was thinking of Misery and she was like, she's kind of sarcastic like Misery, but, like, Misery's not a bitch to you.
Yeah.
Like, it's different.
Anyway, so Brenna also says, like, I've had shit happen to me when I was 10 years younger than you, and I, like, powered through, and I turned out better. So, like, because she did it, then Serena also has to do it, which is stupid.
But, yeah, and I'm like, you don't even know half of the shit that Serena has actually gone through. Like, obviously, we kind of only have snippets of it, but, like, her childhood was awful.
Yeah. So, I am sort of disappointed that we didn't get more of the...
growth from her?
No, more of the past snippets.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I do... This is what I was saying, I think it was last week. I was saying, like, there are other characters we meet. Like, I feel like we could get a book about this girl, and she could grow as a person.
Right.
And, like, not be such a bitch later. Or about one of the seconds or something. Like, you know? So I do feel like it could branch out and go somewhere else, but there isn't any specific.
No. So, Serena, like, manages to reverse the body lock and, like, gets on top of Brenna. And then she asks the question, and it's not the question that Brenna assumed she would ask. She asks why the Northwest was divided. And Brenna tells her that it happened about 40 years ago due to a disagreement with the former Alpha and the Assembly. The Assembly is the governing body that we talked about last week. They're sort of the governing body that help the Alpha, and they represent each of their huddles. And apparently the huddles separated and became self-governing, but, like, the huddles and the Alpha / the core, they weren't at war or anything. Like, they still, like, interacted every day.
Yeah.
It's just they didn't listen to the Alpha anymore.
Yeah.
And she was like, me and Koen went to school together and, like, learned to read together. And, like, even though my mom is from a different huddle.
Mm-hmm.
And then Serena said, well, like, okay, what caused them to get back together and unify? And Brenna tells her that outsiders tried to destroy them, and they realize that their strength comes from their unity. So they're better together. It's cute. It's like a Hallmark card. And then Brenna gets free from the body lock, and then they punch and kick at each other for a bit. And Serena asks, was the threat human? And Brenna says, humans are always involved. Which, like, isn't entirely accurate, so I'm not crazy about it.
Yeah.
But, like, what else you gonna do?
Yeah. It's a bit, stupid.
It was, like, deliberately misleading, I think.
Yeah. Well, we get to it later this week.
Yeah. So Serena asks how Koen unified the pack. And Brenna says he made promises, he took on and won countless challenges. And then she tells Serena that she herself lost her parents and her infant sister in hours. So she didn't care that her and Koen broke up at the time. So it seems like they were together when they were like 15.
Yeah.
And then all this shit happened, so they broke up because there was more important shit to figure out.
Well, yeah, and also he took...
Yes, his vows.
Which we haven't talked about yet.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So she then pushes Serena to the ground and gets on top of her and tells her she wouldn't have wished this on him. And she's like, and by that I mean you.
Yeah.
I'm like, wow.
It's just, I just don't know why she needs to be this much of a bitch.
Like, and saying that to a stranger sucks, but also, like, saying that to a person's mate?
Yeah.
Like,
and, like, if Koen was listening, he'd be pissed about this. And also, how does he just not hear it?
Yeah. Anyway, it's just, like, she's being a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
And obviously that hurts Serena.
Of course.
But then, she just thinks of what a piece of shit she is.
Of course.
Because that's, like, programmed into her DNA, I guess. She's like, I'm a hybrid, which sucks. She's not because she's not a proper wearer and not fully human. She's got a bounty over her head. She grew up with a vampire that most people think is weird. She's unemployed. Like, she's definitely not worthy of an alpha.
Yeah.
Is how she feels.
Yeah.
And then Brenna's like, I'm not trying to be unkind or unfair.
Sure.
I'm like, you're not? Are you sure? Kind of seems like you are. But she's like, I'm not trying to be unfair, but I hope that when all this is over, you'll leave.
Well, she plans to.
Yeah. So, Serena can see that, like, Brenna is not, like, she's not doing this to be a bitch. Like, she's being a bitch, but she's not doing it with the intention of being bitchy. She is genuinely hurting for Koen.
Yeah.
That he has to deal with this, aka deal with her being his mate. So, like, it's altruistic, we'll say. So, you know, she's sort of thinking about that. Um, so Serena sort of takes that opportunity to put Brenna in a body lock. And it's apparently, like, it's a good one that, like, she can't get out of no matter what. Even though, like, we'll see in a second that she can, but whatever. Yeah. And she just tells Brenna not to worry. She's not sticking around. Her and Koen aren't together. Like, this whole mate thing doesn't factor into their relationship. And, like, they're not in love or they're not even fucking.
Yeah.
And Brenna's like, yeah, I know that. We all know that.
Someone just tell her and put her out of her misery.
Yeah, like, I don't understand why they feel the need to keep it a secret.
Yeah.
And, like, you'll understand what we're talking about if you've read the book.
Or even just finished this week.
Oh, does it happen this week?
Yeah.
So you should know what we're talking about.
I hope so.
So, Serena looks over at Koen. She, in her brain, has won the fight. And she is looking smug. And Koen is sort of like, yeah, I get it. Like, you won. He's sort of accepting that she has won. But I guess they didn't say she won. And she starts to maybe relax or get distracted. And then Brenna gets out of the hold.
Yeah.
And essentially, like, picks Serena up, wraps her arm around her neck, and, like, puts her in a chokehold.
Which is fine, but I'm also like, she did pretty good. She did better than anyone expected. Yeah. What do you want from her?
Yeah. I feel like he just wanted an excuse not to have her be alone.
Yeah. Well, and he never would have, he would have been like, I don't care. So.
Yes, probably true.
But still, I was like, why are we even having this moment?
Yeah. What's the point if he's just gonna...
And her being, like, catty and bitchy. I'm like, what? Why? Why are we doing anything anymore?
Yeah, I don't know. So I guess when she's got Serena in the like, headlock, she tells her that she knows 3 things with certainty.
What is this, Twilight? Sorry.
She says, 1, death is gonna come for everybody. Valid. Number 2, the sun is gonna rise every morning. And, like, these are certainties. Like, these aren't just like, oh, I know that I'm happy in my life. Like, it's not even anything that's like, you know it, but, like, maybe not everybody. No, you are talking about science.
I know, but I don't think we can say for sure that the sun's gonna rise every morning forever.
Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome.
Because you know my, like, deathly fears.
Yeah, but that one's, like, it's not... It's existential. It's not...
Yes. Anyway, and the 3rd thing she knows with certainty is that Koen will never touch her, even if she begs on her knees for it. I'm just like, that's a little mean.
Yeah. Also, define touch.
That's true. I think, obviously, we're talking sexually, but, like...
Yeah, I think so, too.
She does not define it, so you're right. Like, girl, set your parameters.
Yeah. It's just funny. And it's also funny because we have read another book that has vampires where the sun don't rise again. We left the book and the sun died.
What book is that?
I don't want to spoil it for anybody that hasn't read it.
Oh.
Skip ahead 10 seconds. The Serpent and the Wings of Night, book 3.
Right. You're right.
Yeah. So that was kind of in my head when I was talking. Right. Also, like, the heat death of the world or whatever. But mostly.
Amazing. Thanks for that reminder.
You know. Anyway. It has happened in a book before with vampires, so it could happen in this book.
Good point. So she lets Serena go, winning the fight. But I'm like, why is her... I guess Serena had to let Brenna go to signal the fight is over. And she did not. So Brenna lets Serena go, indicating the fight is over. And Koen reminds Serena, like, you lost, you're going to stay with me.
Stupid.
And then we get the little epigraph on for the start of the next chapter, and it says, cute how she thinks he would ever let her out of his sight.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, I love that.
But it's like, why go through this charade?
Yeah. Why bother with... I guess it's to give her sort of agency.
Well, and also, I guess he probably just wanted to know if she had any ability at all.
Yeah.
Fine, I'll walk myself around to it.
So they leave the gym, and she's, like, totally resigned to keep her mouth shut. She's like, I made a deal, I lost, like... She's not being, like, a sore loser about it and being like, come on, I pretty much won. Like, she's not doing that.
Which I would have done.
Yeah, me too. But I appreciate that she's, like, taking her lumps.
Yeah, but then I'm like, is it just because she doesn't expect anything from anybody?
Oh, God.
Aww.
Sin.
Yeah.
So when they get back to the car, there's a package on it. And it has written on a little slip of paper, for the former human. And they assume that it's for Serena because she thought she was human, even though she's never been human.
Yeah.
So she goes to pick it up, and Koen grabs her and, like, lifts her up and away. And he's like, are you, like, psychotic? What is wrong with you? And thinks, like, she has a death wish. And, like, not that she does, but... she really doesn't care about her life anymore.
Yeah, and also, if something says it's for me and it's a package, I'm excited.
I want to open it, see what's in there.
Yeah.
And he's like, you are literally under threat. Like, you know.
I guess.
This could be dangerous. And the person who put the package on the car had covered their scent. So, like, he can't tell who put it there. And I'm just like, I wonder how you do that. How do you cover your scent? They never explain it.
He wore a glove. He covered it in roses. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, something. They also, I guess, Brenna's gym has security cameras everywhere. And they actually managed to avoid being seen by the security cameras. So they know where, like, the blind spots are. And she's like, who would know that? And he's like, anybody in the pack. Like, it's not a secret to any
So
pack
it's
member.
somebody in the pack.
Well, essentially, yes. But, like, in my brain, this pack is, like, hundreds, if not thousands. Like, it's big.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It seems huge.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
So he goes to open it. And she's like, hello, you're an alpha. You're more important than I am. Like, you have all this stuff to do. I'm nobody. So, like, maybe I should open it in case, like, it's a bomb or something like that. But he obviously is not going to listen. And he's going to put her welfare above his own. And so there's a card inside. And it says, from your mother. And it's a silver necklace with a moon on it. But there are 4 claw marks scratched through it. So it's suspicious, considering she doesn't know who her mother is.
Yeah.
So they go back to the house, and Koen just gives her the tour because they haven't actually been inside of it yet. He shows her room. They'll have separate bedrooms, obviously.
Obviously.
Even though
it's not. We're not getting on one bed.
I know, you love a one-bed trope.
I do. Well, yeah.
Have you grown out of it?
No, I do. I do love it. But I feel like I've talked a lot more about a one-horse trope on the podcast than I have a one-bed trope. Anyway.
Yeah.
I like these. I like when they're fun. I like when it's something different. But a classic one bed, when it's good, it's good.
Yeah. I just like, my thing is that if it was a one bed trope, I would need it to lead somewhere.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not any of this, like, slow burn, like, they're going to put pillows in between them so they don't touch and then they end up cuddled together. No.
do love that.
Do you, like, I'm okay with that, but that's not what I want from a one-bed trope. What I want from a one-bed trope is that same level of no. And then all of a sudden, like, hands start migrating and, like, maybe in their sleep they start, like, moving the pillows, but then all of a sudden they're having sex.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would be ideal.
That was the book we did in December, the one sleeping bag trope. But that was a bit too sexual assaulty, sorry.
I don't remember.
You didn't like that book.
No,
Not that I loved it.
I remember that I didn't like the book, but I don't remember this scene.
Yeah. It was with the prince.
Oh, right. She was the one that was a bit sexually salty.
Yeah. Assaulting. Okay. Yeah, assaulting him.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yes.
Okay, I do remember that now. Yeah. So, like, that's what I want out of a one-bed trope. I'm okay with cuddling, but, like, I would rather it be like, we're not gonna touch. Oh, yes, we are. Anyway, so even though she's sleeping in, like, a guest room, he does have his own bedroom, but he's not going to sleep in there. He's going to sleep outside in wolf form. So her room also has an ensuite bathroom, but it only has, like, a toilet and a shower. It doesn't have a bathtub. And the bathtub is really how she's been coping with her illness. She's been, like, dunking herself in cold water. So that's sort of problematic. She's like, well, that's going to be a problem. Koen's master bedroom, his ensuite, does have a bathtub. So she's slightly worried about how that's going to play out.
Yeah.
There's also a piano in his room. And the fridge has no food in it. At all. Except for really old unicorn waffles. And Koen is like, oh, those are from when Anna was here. And I'm like, was that not 3 months ago?
It was, yeah.
And they're just sitting in the fridge. Not even the freezer. The fridge.
Well, later on she makes a moke. Makes a joke about them being moldy.
Oh, gross. And like, oh, and then we find out that the fridge is not even plugged in. So, he really doesn't. Not that he doesn't take care of himself, but I'm sure he does. But he doesn't really act. And, like, I guess we see it over and over again. And he loves to say, we're not human. And, like, he really doesn't act human. Mm-hmm. Like, it's none of this, like, a lot of the books that we read with werewolves and shifters and all that. They are very human in the day. Like, when they're not shifted.
In the daytime.
Well, I want to say.
I liked that.
In the daytime. But, like, they're very much human when they're in their human form. And then they're really only animalistic when they're in their animal form. But this doesn't seem as prevalent.
Yeah. Well, and it seems like even this pack is even further than some of the other packs in their wolfiness.
Yeah. Well, they live in wolf form, like, sometimes, like, when they're able to shift, a lot of times it seems like they do stay in wolf form, so.
Mm-hmm. Which is interesting. Like, as a concept, because, like, we've definitely talked about it before, but depending on, like, the writer, wolves turning this often, and even at the beginning of this book, Serena says that she couldn't turn because the moon wasn't big enough. Yes. And apparently that's a thing, but it doesn't seem like it affects anyone in this pack. Or they've all, like, figured it out.
Yeah.
Which is just interesting.
Yeah. So we learn, I guess, from him that he mostly eats in wolf form. And they joke about the goddamn squirrels.
Yeah.
The assholes had it coming. Apparently.
Gross.
I mean, okay, I would not.
Are you going to say you're going to eat squirrel?
No. That's not at all what I'm saying. I would not eat squirrel. However, I don't think I'm as averse to it as you may be, because I watch a lot of the show alone and, like, Naked and Afraid. like these like survival shows where they are just dropped in the middle of nowhere with nothing. And that is a big component of their diet, especially if they're in like, I want to say deciduous forest regions where squirrels are in abundance. They eat a lot of squirrel. So like, I wouldn't do it, but I'm not as like, I understand that might be a meat source for off the grid living.
Yeah, but like, he's got a house. But the other thing too is I am a vegetarian. So it's really...
It's true too.
It's not really just squirrel that I'm adverse to. But it just grosses me out.
Yeah, I guess.
It's mostly the texture. Yeah. Anyway, this is not a food podcast.
We can turn it into one.
Moldy waffles and squirrel.
Oh my god, it's like chicken and waffles.
It is. Although, when we do read the, not Throne of Secrets, but the first trilogy.
Yeah.
I really want all of those recipes.
The Kingdom series.
Oh, yeah, Kingdom of Wicked series, yeah. Yep.
Oh, yeah, no, her dishes sounded awesome.
Yes.
I would like Carrie Maniscalco to publish that cookbook.
Same.
Oh my god, do you think we could, like, Instagram her and suggest it?
Yeah, because, like, she almost has a lot of the recipes in there. And that's, like, in the most recent book we read on the podcast.
Oh my god, words. Words are hard.
Throne of the Fallen. She described a drink that Envy drank all the time. That sounded good.
Yeah. And, I mean, we could go back and just recreate that.
Easily.
Yeah.
I'm sure you could even just Google it, but I haven't.
No. So he just tries an exercise with her. They're just standing in the kitchen and he's like, close your eyes and like remember the last time you're in wolf form. And he uses his like alpha tone that is sort of commanding her to like go along with it. And it's not forceful to her. It's like yes, of course, alpha. Like, why wouldn't I do that for you, alpha? You know what I mean? Like, it's just a suggestion that submissive wolves automatically want to go along with.
Yeah.
And she remembers it, and she says it was, like, beautiful and magical, and, like, nature makes sense when you're a wolf, and, like, you're sort of in harmony with nature, and, like, she's reaching, and, like, trying to grasp that feeling, and then Koen tells her to stop, and she opens her eyes, and she is soaked in sweat, and she's like, what just happened? And he tells her that sometimes when a shifting block is mental, it can help to be guided by an alpha. But it didn't work. Therefore, it's not just a mental block. Like, she's not just struggling mentally. And I'm like, what made him decide to stop at that time? Like, at that moment?
Was she in distress? Like, I don't know.
Not in her brain, she wasn't. I don't know if physically she was, but she wasn't in her head.
No.
Anyway, and then she's like, okay, well, why am I so sweaty? And he says, like, your cells were still working for the shift and, like, trying to shift. And she's like, oh my god, like, what if I won't be able to shift ever again? And she's worried about it because the doctor actually told her that most people with her condition can shift up until the very end of their life. So, like, she's like, once again, I'm the exception to the rule because she's a hybrid. So she thinks that, like, she is, like, regressing in the opposite way because of her disease and because she's a hybrid. And, like, he doesn't seem to care one way or the other. Not that he doesn't care about her, but, like, more of a, if you can or you can't, like, doesn't really matter. Like,
yeah.
Like, it doesn't seem like the way he behaved, like, it didn't seem dismissive to me when he said, like, doesn't matter if you can or you can't. It seemed more like you're still gonna be you. So, like, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you can shift or not. You're still you.
Yeah.
That sort of a thing. Then he just tells her, like, go to bed. Tomorrow they're gonna parade her around town like she asked. And she's like, how are the people gonna know I'm here? Because, like, it's just werewolves around. And he said that, oh, like, vampires and humans fly drones into our territory all the time to get information. But, like, they know that they do. But, like, the vampires and humans think that they're being really secretive.
Even though if they're both doing it, like, I'm sure the wares are also doing it. They're all using drones. It's like the Olympics. The drones in the Olympics are so fucking loud.
They're so annoying.
They're so annoying.
It's really bothering me.
Me too.
Anyway, so he also tells her that, like, he's going to investigate the necklace for a bit, and if he finds nothing out, he'll give it back. So that night, she's in bed, and she actually wakes up in the morning, like, and she doesn't end up puking all over the place. Like, she
Interesting.
Mostly slept through the night. Apparently, she did sneak into Koen's room at some point to steal some of his pillows and his duvet. But then she slept through the night. And I'm like, that could have nothing to do with the fact that she's surrounded by his scent and comforted.
Can't be.
No, of course not. So in the morning, she makes him a coffee, brings it out to him, and there's a wolf there. And she's like, hello, thinking it's a person.
Yeah.
But then she, like, I guess looks at him a little bit, smells him, like, and gets his scent and realizes, no, this is... First she's like, it's a wild wolf. But then it's like, oh no, he's actually a wolf dog. So he's part dog. And Koen is like, oh yeah, he hangs out here sometimes. And she's like, oh, what's his name? And Koen's like, I didn't name him. Like, he's a wild. Like, he's not my pet. And she's like, but what do you do when you have to, like, go into town and get his kibble and stuff? What do you call him? And he's like shocked and appalled. Like, get his kibble. How dare you? So then he's like, the dog comes back up, which is why I'm mentioning it.
Yeah.
But he asks if they're ready to go to town. And she's like, I just want to do one thing first. And she teaches him, like, a game that her Misery played. So she holds up both of her fists, like closed fists, and tells him to pick one. And she said it was something that her and Misery used to do. Like, if they wanted to do something nice for each other, but couldn't go out and just buy something for each other. So she's like, I'm thinking of two things. And you need to pick one of my hands. And there's something in there, and I'll do it for you. So she picks one, and she gives him the coffee. And I'm like, I thought you gave him the coffee already. But
nope.
I guess not. So she gives him the coffee, and he's like, what would I have gotten if I picked the other hand? And she was like, oh, that would have been a hug. And he's like, wait, I want to change my answer. I want the hug. And I'm like, do you? Because, like, he literally talks about how he's not interested in her.
Yeah.
He's made it very clear he doesn't want to be in a relationship or doesn't want anything from her. So, like, why does he want the hug so bad?
And also, then you wouldn't get coffee.
Exactly. Thank you. Yes. So... He wants to change his answer and say, oh, I want the hug instead. But she's like, you can't do that. It's in the rules. And he's like, but that's stupid. And she's like, no, it's a part of life. Like, missing out on a choice is important. Like, that's a part of life. Always being a little bit disappointed because you didn't get one of the things. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I don't like that. That's stupid. So then they leave then. And they go out, and Serena's, like, in awe of this land. And I'm just like, that means she's meant to stay there and be the Luna. Even though I don't think they call it Luna, I'm saying it anyway.
Well, yeah, I guess we wouldn't really have had a situation, because, like, can you call a vampire a Luna?
I don't know.
I guess if she is, then...
I will say that that's another werewolf trope that, like, it really depends on how it's done, on whether I get into it or not. Like, the whole, like, his missing Luna, or, like, the reluctant Luna, or, like, something like that. And I hate the books that always start with, like, me and Jackson have known each other since we were 4 years old, and he always said he wanted to be with me. And then we turned 16, and we were mated. And I was gonna be his Luna. But then he dumped me for Cassidy, and tells me that I could never be his Luna, and he rejected me. And, like, I just really hate those books that, like, start with, like, the asshole guy rejecting, like, the sweet little virgin girl for, like, you know, for the hot model.
Yeah.
They really bother me. But
I can see that.
Ugh. And I get annoyed because so many of, like, the books that I get recommended on, like, Facebook, they're all like that.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, stop. Anyway, I digress. So, they go to a store. Happens that his friend owns the store. Convenient. And there are, like, wolves just milling all over town. And she's like, should I go introduce myself to these people?
She's so cute.
She is so cute. And she's like, they're all staring at me, so, like, should I go talk to them? And he's just like, girl, they all know who you are. You don't need to introduce yourself. Like, you were on a national interview 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Talking about how you're a hybrid. Like, everyone knows you. And she's like, oh. And he's like, don't worry. Like, you're a symbol. Like, you represent that humans and werewolves can coexist. And it's like, cool, I guess. She asks, like, if he knows how she can access her bank account to pay for her things. And he's like, he just completely ignores the question. And she's like, you know, I can pay for my own stuff. But he's just like, no, I'm ignoring this. Because obviously he's gonna pay.
Yeah,
no excuses.
Or does he even pay? Like, is this like a society where, like, nobody
charges the alpha?
Yeah, or even nobody charges anybody, and, like, I don't know, like, he just magically makes everybody fine without money. He provides for everybody.
No, they do say later on, like, when they're going to leave, he doesn't pay. And then she's like, aren't you going to pay? And he says, they'll send me the bill.
Yeah.
But, I mean, good point. I don't actually know if they do.
No, I assume they do. It seems very, just, like, similar to normal.
Yeah.
Capitalism.
Yeah.
Like, they have jobs and shit around.
Although, Koen doesn't really. He's the alpha. So, like,
yeah.
Does he have, like, is he, like, a public servant salary? Like, because that's not a lot.
No.
Public servants don't get very much.
No, I don't know. Maybe he just doesn't pay for anything, and that's it.
Maybe.
That's just the end of it.
So they go in and just meet the shop owner, Carter, and Koen notices that, like, Serena's a little bit tense, so he holds on to the scruff of her neck, and I wanted to highlight that because it's valid later, like, probably next week is valid, so I'm just pointing it out. The scruff of the neck is important.
Yeah, it also just reminds me of, like, when a cat picks up its kitten.
Yes. But this is not mommy vibes.
Muscle mommy.
Never heard of this. What's a muscle?
You've never heard of a muscle mommy?
No.
My God.
What's a muscle
Just like a really strong, muscular woman, usually on Instagram, that's hot as hell.
Oh. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I've never heard of one of these.
It's the ones that guys want her to step on their necks. Not just guys.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So to make it more relaxed, Carter and like Serena, they tease Koen a little bit about how he looks a little unkempt. He's got like a straggly man bun. He needs a haircut. He needs a shave. But he just like brushes them off and he's like, go help her shop. So it's very much sort of like a Pretty Woman thing. Like, it is. She tries on a bunch of clothes and like, she doesn't want to be an imposition. Like, she doesn't want to be like picky about what she gets. But she says like her skin has been super sensitive and he's picking these materials that are like grating on her. Even though they're soft, like she was like, the fleece makes me feel like I need to like claw my insides out. So like fleece is soft, but it's abrasive.
Yeah.
And
it's like if you hate certain clothes, like I hate texture of jeans and corduroys and velvet and many things.
Yes. The doctor just told her like that's normal in the evolution of her illness and just to dress to minimize it. So like pick soft things. And then she thinks about how like she actually used to put a lot of pride in what she wore and how she looked because of her upbringing. But since she's gotten sick, she like doesn't really recognize herself anymore, which is sad.
Yeah.
So like, and then Carter does something which I don't really understand. He tells Koen to go grab her more underwear. And I'm like, why?
Yeah.
Why? Like, is the goal to make him uncomfortable? I don't think he was uncomfortable, but like, why would you not just go get that yourself?
Yeah, I just don't understand the point.
I enjoy the repercussions of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't understand the point. So they leave without paying, and she's like, what are you doing? And he said, they'll send me the bill. Don't worry, they know where I live. Then...
In the woods?
Yeah. Yeah. Then they go to a grocery store, and more people are staring at her, and she thought that more people would actually be hostile towards her. But Koen is like, no, most people just see you as a symbol of unity. Like, you're fine. So they shop around, and it's Serena's first time shopping at a grocery store in, like, months. And it's, like, even before she was abducted. Like, by the vampires. So, like, months. We're talking, like, 6 months. And she's, like, having a great time. So she, like, is feeling a pillow. She's smelling a candle. Checking out all the different kinds of tea. She's just browsing. Window shopping. And she's like, well, I don't really need very much for hygiene products because I have a toothbrush and I really like the smell of Koen shampoo, so I'm going to keep using that. She also never had a period. So, like, he makes a joke about getting her, like, feminine hygiene stuff, and she's like, don't need it. And now...
Does she say, like, never in her life?
She just said she's never had a period.
Yeah, and I guess, like...
If she's not fertile, which she learned on the show.
Yeah. I was wondering if it also had to do with, like, abusive upbringing of, like, not... If you don't eat enough and, like, stuff like that, you might not get it. Like, a lot of athletes don't actually get... Because they keep their bodies in, like...
Such peak physical condition.
Yeah, and it's like, is it peak if you're not getting your period? But that's not, we're not that kind of podcast either.
We are not. Who doesn't love a good period? You don't get
I don't get one anymore. And I love that so much.
Well, mine make me happy. So... She also says that she used to wear sunscreen, like, every single day. But again, now that she's dying, she don't give a fuck. She just doesn't.
So funny.
She's like, melanoma, pah, who cares?
I hardly know her.
So they get back in the car and she tries to thank him, but he's like, no gratitude. So then he's like, why don't you just dust my light fixtures instead? And she's like, actually, why don't I give you a haircut instead? So she, like, touches his hair and is surprised that, like, he doesn't actually pull away. And she has an urge to make him smell like her. And then her brain gets fuzzy. And I'm like, girl, he is your mate. And she was like, you know, it just bothers me that at the beginning she was like, are you my mate? And he's like, you would know.
But how would she know? She doesn't know anything. Also, how would he, like, there's none of her. She's one of a kind, other than a child. Like, the child hasn't met their mate. So, like...
Yeah, it's ridiculous. So he drops her at home, and he brings all the bags of shopping in, and he's like, I'm going for a meeting about her necklace. So he just leaves her in the house while he goes to the meeting. And he says, if anything happens, yell for Amanda or Colin, who are the two patrolling the cabin right now. So he lingers for a little bit. And he is, like, sort of close to her head. And she wants him to touch her. But he sort of steps away, and she reminds herself that, like, he called her a spoiled brat 24 hours ago. Like, he's not nice or kind.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, I guess that's what she has to tell herself. So he leaves, and she unpacks all of her stuff. And the first thing she notices is that every pair of underwear he picked for her are various shades of red, which I find hilarious.
Yeah. It reminds me of 10 Things I Hate About You. I think,
red
was that
panties.
black, though?
Yeah.
Was it red? Yeah.
No, I think it was black. Black panties.
But still, it's... What does that mean?
It means she wants to have sex someday, that's what.
Yeah, it's like someday. Oh, Jesus. Fine. Sure.
So the second thing she notices is that there's a little pink penguin pocket knife in the bag for her to use. Because remember, she spoke about how in the cabin she left behind a penguin stuffy. I don't actually know if she did leave a penguin stuffy. Like, I don't know if that was a truth or a lie.
Yeah, I don't know either.
Because that's not what she really wanted to go back for, but it's what she told him.
Yeah.
So he got her the little penguin pocket knife. And the third thing is that everything she touched or smelled in the grocery store, he picked out and bought. Which is nice.
It's cute.
But also, how did she not notice? Were they not walking together and, like, was she not looking at the cart?
She was not.
Obviously not. Also, I'm really sorry. I'm starting to lose my voice, and I can hear it more and more the more I talk. So, eventually, I'll just be squeaking. So, I apologize for the squeak.
It happens.
So, we get, like, the little epigraph is that he hears her talking with some guy named Pavel about garden gnomes, and her laugh rearranges his atoms.
Oof.
Like, that is extreme.
Yeah.
That's hard to do. It's hard to rearrange someone's atoms.
Yes, it is. Maybe impossible. Without a knife.
Can you rearrange someone's atoms with a knife?
If you cut them in half.
Would that rearrange their atoms, though, or would that just slice?
No, it would just separate them.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I guess if you cut them in small enough pieces.
Slice and dice.
Yeah.
The things we discuss.
Yeah, I don't know.
So when we find Serena next, she's hanging out on the couch when naked men just walk in and start chatting. And they're just talking like nonsense stuff, like it's not important. And then Amanda comes in and is like, what are you doing? You did not get approval from Koen to be here and be around Serena. But like they're all naked. Even Amanda. Yeah. And none of them care. So the guys' names are Colin and Pavel. Is it Pavel or Pavel?
Pavel, I would think, but I don't know.
Great. I went with Pavel, but I don't know. Sorry if your name is Pavel or Pavel and I'm saying it wrong. So Amanda reminds them of what Koen is going to do if he finds them here around Serena with no clothes on. So they're like, yeah, okay, we'll go hunt for some dinner. And Serena's like, oh, do you guys want to stay and I'll cook a meal? And so it turned into Koen coming back and everybody is there eating meatballs and spaghetti. And she had a bowl of like scraps and says, here, it's for Twinkles, which is the name she has given the wolf dog that, well, she told Anna about it, and that's what Anna thinks the dog's name is. So everybody's like, oh, she's a really good cook, and she reveals that she loves to cook, but she never really got a chance to cook for anyone because it was just her and Misery doesn't eat unless it's peanut butter. And she thinks that, like, if she could have a future, she would love for it to be her going home after work, cooking a meal for her and her someone, and watch TV with them in the evenings. But she's already like, that's a pipe dream. I'm not getting a future. I'm dying. So, like, there's no point.
Yeah. It's sad.
It is really sad. And, like, she's like, oh, I probably just want it so bad because I'm not going to have it. And if I actually did get to have it, I'd probably be bored in 2 weeks. But, like, it's just her making excuses, really.
Yeah.
So when Koen comes back and they're all eating and she offers him some food, but he doesn't take any. And I don't really understand why. He's like adamant. He's like, no.
Yeah. And it's kind of a theme and it makes me feel bad. I'm like, why are you like, I don't know. I guess it's to keep her at arm's length, but I don't know. It makes me feel bad for her.
Yeah, it sucks. And like sort of makes her feel like we literally just heard her talk about how much she loves cooking and how important it is to cook for her someone. And he's like, no, I can't take your food. Koen then like sort of gets mad at his seconds for being there and also naked. And he's like, put some clothes on, please. And then 30 minutes later, there are like 20 people hanging out in the house. And she's sort of like, you did this. And he's like, I literally just wanted you to see the faces of the people that are gonna be guarding the house, like protecting you. I didn't mean for this. Like this get together. Because now it's not just the seconds, but like they brought their family members, their like partners, their kids, like siblings. It's just a little bit of everybody.
It's a party.
Yeah. And Serena is actually talking to Jorma on the porch. And they just chat for a bit. And then she is feeling overwhelmed with the noise and the smells. So she goes to take a break somewhere. And she overhears, with her exceptional hearing, snippets of a conversation that Saul is having with someone else. And they say something about the favored and not having time to look. And they didn't keep track because they were busy. And that he's definitely not going to tell her until he's sure. And, oh my God.
have a Sepasol here, but you're too far away.
Yes. So Serena just assumes that they're discussing her and Koen.
Yeah.
But she can't say for sure. And, like, that whole, like, you're not the center of the universe sort of thing, I think, plays in her mind, too. And, like, she doesn't really understand even what they're saying. So she doesn't want to, like, dive too much into it. And, like, we do forget this conversation. Like, this never comes up again.
Well, yeah, the conversation doesn't, but what they're talking about
yes,
is obviously.
We do understand it. Now, like, once you read more into the book, you do understand what they're talking about. But, like, she never thinks back on this conversation again.
Yeah. Which, funny.
Yeah. So she chats with another guy for a bit named Carl, and when they stop talking, Elle, who is another second maybe, goes over and tells him he's insane for hitting on Koen's mate, and he's like, I'm not! And she's like, yeah, wait till Koen rearranges your intestines.
What's up with all the rearranging?
Yeah, rearranging atoms, intestines, like, they're just interior designers, I guess. Literally interior, because atoms and intestines are both on the inside.
I like it.
So, she goes to the kitchen, and there's some guy looking for a cup. And he's like, his name is Bowden. And he is Brenna's brother. So, Brenna is that girl that we met just a little bit ago that fought Serena and put her in chokeholds and said that she hopes she leaves. Bowden is her little brother. And he is also an immediate dick.
Must run in the family.
Yes. And he tells Serena that she doesn't belong there. And, like, he's just an ass. And I wrote down that he's misogynistic, but, like, it's not even misogynistic towards, like, he's not an asshole because she's a woman. He's an asshole because she's a hybrid. And I don't think that word exists. Which is why I wrote misogynistic.
Yeah. Yeah, there isn't,
Like, I don't think there is a term for being hateful towards
a different
species. So, I just said misogynistic, but, like, we know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's, like, an asshole to her because she's a hybrid who grew up with a vampire. So, in his mind, she is absolute trash. So, she knows that she should not engage. I'm sure she's come across these types of people before. But he doesn't stop. Mm-hmm. So she just, like, lets him have it and, like, puts him in his place until Koen, like, she's literally mid-rant and Koen shows up. And Bowden, like, doubles down. He doesn't shrink back because the alpha is there. He, like, doubles down. He's like, if I was alpha, she wouldn't be allowed here. And it's like, if you were alpha, she wouldn't be here. Like,
yeah,
you know.
Like, if she was, but if he was in Koen's situation, which is kind of what he's trying to say, it's like, she would be your mate. Are you telling me that you wouldn't have your mate around?
Yeah.
Like, I don't think he'd have the ability to push her away. That's not the right word. He wouldn't have the self-control.
Yes.
To push her away like Koen is.
Correct.
Not that that's really, like, I don't think he's necessarily doing the best thing either, but
yeah.
This guy's an idiot.
He is. He's a straight up dick.
Talking hypotheticals that are stupid.
Yeah. So Koen essentially tells Bowden that, like, Serena is his guest and she is allowed to be here. And Bowden, like, triples down because he's like, yeah, right, like, half the pack want her dead. And he's like...
We're like, all the seconds love her.
Yeah, then he's like, you definitely hate her too, but you're stuck with her because she's your mate. And I'm like, no, you shouldn't have said that.
Yeah.
And then he tells everybody, not just Bowden, he tells everybody that if anybody fucks with Serena, he will kill them so slowly that new mountain ranges will form. And I love that. I love it so much.
That's fun.
I'm sorry, I can't help how much I love it.
No, I like it.
He also says that if he has to, he will not stop until the entire pack is dead and it is just him and Serena left. And
you won't have to worry about anything then.
Well, but I'm just like, how is that intuitive to his issues?
Yeah. This is stupid. You're showing your cards, my guy.
Flying in the face of what his problems are, which, again, we will reveal shortly.
It's very soon. I think it's in, like, the first scene. I don't really remember.
So,
yeah, it's in the... That's my part,
okay.
Sorry.
So... Bowden then leaves. He's thoroughly chastised.
Yeah.
So he goes.
Sorry. Just the way you said that word, I liked it. It tickled.
Chastised? Or thoroughly?
Yeah, but you're like... The combination, how long it was drawn out, I liked it a lot.
Thank you. So Serena thanks Koen for, like, the intense protection. But again, he brushes it off. He doesn't like to be thanked. But also he's like, oh, that was less about keeping you safe and more about, like, setting a precedent with the other wares. Like, they can't talk to me like that. But, like, we all know.
But she doesn't.
No, I know, but still.
Which it normally annoys me, but I give her a tiny pass because of how shitty her entire life was.
So, she asks if Bowden will become the next alpha. And she sort of said when she encountered him, he had this very, like, she could feel his dominance. Like, she could feel it. So he's alpha material. But his dominance is not as strong as Koen or even Amanda.
Yeah.
And she's like, so could he be the next alpha? And Koen says, like, probably not. There are other younger vampire or other young werewolves about his age that have just as much dominance as he does, but are not raging assholes.
Love it.
So, and she asks him, like, are you worried about being challenged by one of these people? But he's like, you know, she was like, it would suck to have all this taken from you. And he's like, it's not mine to be taken from. Like, it doesn't belong to me. He's like, if someone better shows up with better ideas, like, I will gladly step aside.
I just feel like, isn't it always to the death?
But, like, I guess if somebody issues him a challenge, he can either...
Can you step down?
I feel like he could step aside.
Okay.
Or he could challenge and fight to stay alpha.
Gotcha. Sure.
And, like, while I appreciate this sentiment, my first thought was, when he said it, was, well, what if it's Bowden that challenges you?
He'd kill him.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, he's not someone who's better. He doesn't have great ideas. Like, he is not a good person. But if he decides to challenge you and you fight, you're going to have to fight, right? So, and we sort of learn, like, they have a conversation and we learn that, like, Koen likes being alpha. He's not conflicted about it like Lo is. He genuinely, like, he's never thought to be anything else. This is what he's meant for. It's what he was raised to be. And, like, he's good at it. She asks, like, well, do you have a hobby for, like, when you step aside? And he's like, no. So they play the fist game again. And the hand he picks is for her to teach him how to play piano.
Yeah.
And this is what I find weird, is, like, their house is packed with people. And she's like, no time like the present.
let's go to your bedroom.
Yeah, and like
alone,
hand in hand, let's go to your bedroom. Like, because that's...
she doesn't know, but I'm like,
that's not going to
he doesn't want
or anything.
Yeah.
It's stupid. Like, this is why she should know. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that she doesn't know is stupid. Anyway, so they go to his bedroom, and he sits in front of the piano, like on a stool. The door is open still. So she's like, oh, let me go get another chair, because it's just a little stool. But he's like, nope, and pulls her onto his lap. And I'm like, for somebody who is adamant that he's not interested, you are showing a lot of interest. But nonetheless, they just do a quick C major chord lesson, and he's just repeating that chord over and over again. And she's sitting in his lap, and his hand like trails her thigh, and like she gets real turned on. And then they're like really close, and his scent spikes. And I'm like, does that mean that like he's turned on? And can he smell like her scent spiking too?
Probably.
And she's like, oh, we could kiss. We're close enough. But then she reminds herself, no, I can't kiss him. I'm dying. And she's like, oh, but he's an alpha. He could do what he wants. So I think she was going to let him kiss her. But then he sort of like pours cold water on the situation and is like, right, I'm not interested, remember? And that's when someone else interrupts them and walks into the room. And again, I'm just like, how did... I don't know. I'm just like...
Why didn't they sit on their own stools?
Yeah, like it's just...
For one.
It's very... guilty looking.
Yeah.
So... we meet then... Sorry, this guy... Mai, who is in charge of the borders in the Northeast. And he's like, hey, so I caught and killed 11 vampires today. And Serena's just like, what? Really? 11? And he's like, yeah, you want to see their bodies? And I just love Mai for that. He's like, you want the proof? I'll show you their bodies. She's like, no. And she asks, like, do you know which council member or vampire is the one sending them? But they don't know that yet. So she sort of is like, oh, dude, I'm really sorry that you drew the short straw and had to deal with that. But they tell her, like, that actually Mai is the eldest second. Therefore, he gets to pick his assignments. And this was his choice. Yeah. He likes it. He likes eating vampires. So, Serena, like, sort of internalizes this and sort of finds it odd and yet funny because, like, Mai doesn't seem that much older than 40 years old, but Lo has seconds of, like, all ages. So, like, she's like, I don't understand why he's the oldest at 40. And I'm like, don't they also have long lifespans? So how can she be sure that's how old he is? Apart from storyline purposes.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know. The end of sentence.
Okay. Great. So she thinks about how young everyone is, and that's not normal for a pack. Like, you should have a wide, like, variety of ages, and she has really not seen anybody above the age of 40 in this entire pack. And, like, valid point, but you've also seen a lot of wolves, not a lot of humans. So, like, can you tell how old they are in their wolf form?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't think we get anything about, like, if they look different as they age. Interesting.
No, I know, it is interesting. Anyway, so that night she goes to bed and she's still thinking about this, and she texts Misery and asks, like, when did Koen become the alpha? And Misery's like, 21 years ago. And she's like, shit, he was 15. And she is starting to put pieces together. And she's like, obviously something big happened that destroyed all of their records. Also killed Brenna's family. And made the Northwest reunite. So something happened. And she's like, I don't think the adults would be very happy with a 15-year-old taking over as alpha unless there were no dominant adults left to take over. So then she wrote Misery again, asking her to ask Lo how a 15-year-old boy managed to unite an entire pack. But she falls asleep before Misery answers, so we don't get the response for that.
Yeah, it is a really good question, because ain't no 15-year-old boy telling me what to do.
No, thank you. I get that happening to me on a daily basis. I don't like it.
That's true.
I say no.
I was like, I can't even imagine what a 15-year-old boy looks like, to be honest. I don't know kids. Although, I guess Lily's 15 soon. Yeah. No.
They look like
and she
babies.
Has friends. Oh, obviously.
But
yeah.
But babies that are taller than me. Some of them significantly.
Well, Lily's taller than me, but the boys in her class aren't taller than her yet. And I'm like, girl, it's coming. Don't brag too much right now, because...
She is tall for a girl, though.
Oh, she is, yeah.
Like, some of the boys, I would say, won't reach her.
No. I agree. But that's like, I was always tall when I was young, and then I stopped growing at, like, 12, and was this height at 12, and stayed this height forever. Until I start shrinking again.
Yeah.
Anyway, so... we go to a new paragraph, and it starts with Koen thinking, the cabin smells like ... impossible. He must be losing his mind. And I'm like, it smells like sex? Does it smell like sex? Is that what you're thinking? Because that's what I took from it. So, Serena wakes up after a few hours of sleep, and she's having spasms and cramps, and she feels like she's on fire. So she sits in the shower with cold water just running over her. And then things kind of get a bit fuzzy, but she gets up and she gets in Koen's bed, because that's where she wakes up. So she doesn't really remember getting in his bed, but that's where she wakes up. And then when she wakes up, she wonders if she came into his room because he's the alpha.
No.
Like, he's her alpha. And I'm like, do you think you'd be crawling into Lo's bed, bitch? Can you imagine?
Ugh.
It'd be kind of funny, because Misery would be in the closet like, what's happening out there?
Yeah.
So she obviously sweat a lot in the night in his sheets, but he stayed outside, so, like, he didn't notice. So she puts her laundry and his laundry in the washing machine. And then she gets dressed, but something feels wrong. And, like, kind of like we were saying, like, uncomfortable in her clothes. So she puts one of his shirts on, and then all of her clothes, and she feels okay.
Huh. Again, I wonder why.
She also tries to clean his room so he can't tell that she was in there. And I'm like, I don't think that's possible, but okay.
Yeah, she's really worried about invading his privacy.
Yeah. And he's like, invade away.
Yeah.
So she goes out and sits on the porch, and Amanda is there. And they watch Koen fight with a smaller wolf, and Koen wins. And then another wolf takes his place, or her place, because the first wolf was a female. And Serena says, like, she's just like, oh, what are they doing? Like, this isn't the challenge, right? And Amanda's just like, no, my God, they're just playing. And Amanda offers to teach her, like, wolf playing, I guess. Yeah. And she's kind of like, yeah, but we know she can't turn right now. And then Amanda says that Koen's really good at staying in control, and that's why everyone fights with him. And then he just, like, kind of goes out of control in this moment, because of course he does. And Amanda's just like, oh, you know, things are a lot right now. And Serena's like, what do you mean? And Amanda just says it might be because he's spending too much time around his mate. And then Serena's like, what? And Amanda's just like, he's fucking horny. And Serena just thinks to herself that, like, she slept with much worse guys, and, like, she would sleep with him if he wanted to. But then she's like, well, he's already said no. Obviously, I'm not going to take Amanda's word over his own. So she just tells Amanda that she knows it's hard for him since she's in his house, but he can sleep with somebody else, and, like, she'll make herself scarce. And Amanda's just like, didn't Lo or Koen tell you? Right? And she's just like, tell me what? And then obviously Amanda says that the Alpha of the Northwestern Pack is asked to honor a celibacy covenant, and it's forbidden by law to engage in any kind of intimate relationship, emotional or physical. I'm like, girl, he already failed.
Yeah.
And I feel like he fails with some of his seconds, too. Like, it's impossible not to have emotional relationships with anybody. Like, I don't know. I don't mean, like, romantic. I just mean relationships in general. Like, he loves some of his seconds. Yeah. So I just think that this is just a ridiculous rule that he's already failing at, even without Serena. And with Serena, he's doubly failing at it. So then, after that bombshell, we get a new
So yeah, chapter. This is what we've been hinting at the entire time. He tells her he doesn't want her, but he's just not allowed to engage in a relationship with her.
Exactly. And literally, the epigraph of the next paragraph is, he told her he didn't want her, but he wants her too much. So it's better to push her away. Like, it's paraphrasing or whatever. But so Serena's just like, but Lo and Misery definitely have sex, so why are they allowed? And Amanda tells her that the celibacy covenant was common practice, and it used to ensure pacts, like, were the most important thing to the Alpha. And Serena just says, like, other priorities are a threat to, like, the Alpha's attention and stuff. And Amanda kind of frowns, and Amanda says that in theory it makes a lot of sense, but she says falling in love isn't necessarily in your control. And then we get my favorite phrase in any book, and this is sarcasm, mates are rare.
Not apparently, they're not. Not in our sphere.
No. And I don't think they use the word rare, but they're just like, not everyone finds a mate kind of thing. And Amanda does say there are other alphas that would definitely ignore it if they found their mate, but Koen obviously isn't. And Amanda says, like, alphas are people too, and they can make mistakes, and that's why they have an assembly, which we've kind of talked about the assembly before. But the assembly can dispute an alpha's decisions. But Amanda says, like, she doesn't think rules can police feelings, which is fair. But 70 years ago, packs started to phase out the covenant, and then one alpha ruined it for everyone and screwed his way through his pack and granted privileges for sex. And he's dead now, but, like, it's a cautionary tale of, like, can't let guys have sex is what I think you should take away from that. Men in power, like cultish behavior, men in power shouldn't have authority sexually over people. But like,
I hate it.
They take away from that he just shouldn't have sex, and it's like, oh, because we can't trust men not to abuse their power. Is that
that's
the real takeaway
that's
here?
It.
Yeah, great. So then 40 years ago, the Northwest Alpha fell in love and asked the assembly to rescind the covenant, and they denied her. And this is when the Northwest Pack like fractured into huddles, because she did it anyway. So as time passed, new huddle leaders took over, and it kind of seemed like they might all reunite under the Alpha, but then they were all attacked. And Serena's just like, oh, okay, so that's what happened like 20 years ago. Serena says that she's sorry because she knows it was humans. And Amanda's just like, who said that? And obviously, she heard it from Brenna. And Amanda says, like, humans were involved, but the true responsibility is with the wares. And we're like, so what the fuck is going on? Because people are telling us mixed things.
Well, Brenna's just got a skewered version of the truth, I guess.
Yeah. And it's funny because Serena's like, well, I'm half human, half were, so I'm doubly at fault. It's like, that's not how that works, but sure. Anyway. Yeah. So Koen was 15, but he took over and he neutralized the threats and convinced the huddles that they were stronger together. And the assembly enforced the covenant to like get them all to stay together, and he just agreed with it. Which I'm like, he was 15, like
poor little baby boy.
Yeah, I guess you can make decisions at 15 that change your entire life, but it just is wild. And Amanda just says, like, obviously we've kind of seen this in the book, like Koen does what he wants and he doesn't really give a fuck, but he would never break the covenant. So obviously Serena wonders why no one told her, but she also thinks, like, he kept saying he doesn't want her. So it might not have anything to do with the covenant. And it's like, girl, it does. That's the only thing that matters. So then Saul and Jorma come over, and obviously they're naked, and they ask if Serena wants to cook them breakfast. And she's like, yeah, sure. And, like, she's not eating at all, and, like, Koen doesn't eat her food, and I'm like, guys.
Yeah, it's not super kosher that they're like, want to cook for us.
Yeah, and she says she likes it, so that's fine, but I'm like, someone should make sure that she's eating. And I wish that Koen would eat it.
Can I just say that, like, the one thing that I thought of, and this is going to sound really stupid, when I was reading the part where, like, so she's cooking for all of these people, and they're wares, so they have really hefty appetites.
Yes.
Like, when they went to the grocery store, she was not anticipating cooking for, like, 15 people. There is no way she bought enough groceries.
100%
so,
agree.
like, where is she getting all the ground meat to make copious amounts of meatballs?
Yeah.
Where did it come from?
She makes French toast for everybody here.
Where does she get 5 loaves of bread?
Yeah. It's a lot. I'm like, this doesn't make any sense, guys. No. So after they all eat, Juno calls her and tells her that the humans got back to her because she reached out to the humans after she couldn't find anything about Serena's parents with the packs. So basically, they found out that her mother's family is from the west of the Sawtooth Range. And this was a situation with me in geography, and I was like, mwah, mwah. But it's close to the eastern border of the Northwest Territory. And
Territories? No, that's in Canada.
No, I guess, like, the pack. It's close to the pack, the Northwest pack. Like, that's the closest wolf pack to it. So chances are her father would be from the Northwest Pack.
Oh, the Sawtooth Range.
Yeah.
Primarily refers to the 678 square mile range in central Idaho, and it is a part of the Rocky Mountains.
Nice.
That's all.
Good job. I liked it.
Although there are other Sawtooth Mountains in California and Minnesota. So, I don't know.
Don't know anything. Me, I don't know. Yeah, so basically, Juno also says, like, they can only find distant cousins, but they're human anyway, so they're probably not looking to have a giant chat with her or anything or deal with her at all. So, it's helpful, I guess, but not overly. But Serena thinks of the necklace that was on her car and wonders if her mother is still alive and got a where to deliver it to her. And then she wonders if her father is still in the pack. But then she obviously thinks about, like, how there aren't really any old pack members, so, like, it would be hard for her father to still be alive. Yeah. And then Juno asks if she can tell Misery about this, because Misery is super nosy, and Serena's just like, yeah, but if you found this out by computer, Misery has already hacked in and knows it, which is just really funny, and I love how tech savvy she is and how good she is at that shit.
I just wish everyone else remembered it.
I know. And then Juno just says that that's ideal because she won't have to breach any ethics by telling Misery herself. Like, guys, you should just get better security.
Yeah.
Get Misery to set it up. She'll still be able to look at it all, but... So then Serena texts Misery, and she asks if Misery was talking to Lo about how the 15-year-old could take over a pack, because she texted her that last night, and she didn't hear back. But we got that Lo is actually gone on pack business, and Serena then is like, okay, well, when you're talking to him, ask him what happened 21 years ago, because Wares died and humans were involved. And Misery's like, yeah, sure. But she's like, you could also just ask Lo. He probably has some information. But Serena says that they're cagey, and this is likely their big, like, formative traumatic event. And she's like, like yours, which Misery says is the Aster, but we got that in Bride, which is kind of funny. But it was another big wedding where between wares and vampires, and everyone died. So she then just notices that Koen's flannel that she sweat through last night is just in the hallway. And I'm like, there's so many wares in this house. Like, nobody else just noticed that there was a super sweaty, like, when they smell it too. Because Koen came in the house and was like, it smells like, I assumed sex. But, it, like, even just her sweat, like, there has to be something on it that smells like...
I don't understand what it is.
Yeah. Agreed. But it's so weird that nobody else cared or noticed or reacted. Maybe it's fine. I don't know. But, so she's like, shit, I thought that was in the washing machine. So she grabs it. And as she's going to walk to the laundry room, he walks in. And he's just like, what is that? And she's like, it's just my pajamas. And I need to clean them. And she turns and, like, goes to hurry to the laundry. But he tells her not to run and to walk slowly to the washing machine and get rid of the clothes. And he says, don't make me chase you. And it's very much like a... yeah, it's one of those moments. You're like, oh, but I think I want you to chase her.
Yes, please.
I think we'd all want that. So she comes back, and he just hasn't moved from where he was standing. And she, like, gets him a coffee, and she kind of, like, in her head debates how many laws she'd be breaking if she just, like, gave him a hug, and he's just in jeans, so she wants to tell him that his tits are pretty spectacular too, which is kind of funny. But she decides against it because, like, obviously she just found out about the covenant. It'd be really shitty to do this right now.
I love her, I love her respect of him and his agency. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
She doesn't try to seduce him.
Yeah.
Right now.
Yeah, especially after she found this out. Like, and even before, she was like, he's said no, so I'm not going to. Yeah. Like, yeah, I do. Consent. Who knew? So she offers him French toast, and he rejects it, which pisses me off. But he tells her to get dressed because they're leaving. But she says they're staying in. And for what she has in mind, it's best that he doesn't get dressed because he's just in his jeans. So then a new chapter starts, and it's just he never used to think of the covenant, and then she arrived. And for the first part of this chapter, they, like, banter, and it kind of sounds like they could be having sex. Because she's like, I know it's been a long time for you, and blah, 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 blah. But it's a haircut. Which is also kind of fun, but it's just
It's
funny.
Not what we signed up for.
True. So, 2 women and a man just barge into the house, and 2 of them, the man and one of the women, the woman's name is Anique, are there for a fight. And Anique mentions him letting someone at his throat with a knife, because she's now shaving him. But there's not the other woman that's there is, like, super laid back and, like, starts complimenting him on the haircut. And they start to kind of say why they're there, but Koen just cuts in and says that they're afraid that he's fucking his mate. And Serena just says he's not breaking the covenant, and she remains tragically unfucked. Which I love.
It. I love how sarcastic both of them are.
I do too, but then I'm also like, would anyone really say something like this to someone with the power? Like, I'm like, okay, you do you. But anyway, and then Serena goes on and says, like, he's not madly in love with her either. And Anique says that he lets her brandish a weapon around his neck. And it's like, she's very fixated on this, which I guess is fair. But the other woman says it's community service to give him a shave and a haircut, which I love. I love this woman too. And she introduces herself as Carolina.
All right.
Sure, I don't know. And then the man is Xavier.
Terrible name. Say it again.
Xavier.
With a B.
Yeah. So then we get that they are 3 of the 5 people that make up the assembly. So Koen just, like, goes to stand up to, like, walk them out because he's like, fuck this. But Serena pushes him down and tells him to stay so she can finish shaving him. And the 3 of the assembly just, like, start to freak out, and they're there with their mouths open, like, what the fuck? And Xavier just says that that's evidence that there's something going on because she's ordering him around. And Koen just says, like, they just came in here to order him around. That's why they're here. And he says he isn't fucking any of them.
Valid point.
And then, yeah, exactly. And then Serena tells him to stop moving or she'll nick him. And I'm just like, girl, stop. Stop giving him orders. You're making him look bad. But she says, like, if she nicks him, they'll think that she's pregnant with triplets.
Mm.
She's just very sarcastic and funny in this. But Anique says that they're concerned, and Koen says that he knows the rules, and Carolina says that he knows better than most, and they shouldn't doubt him. But Xavier says he didn't have a mate before. And Koen just tells them that he promised he would tell them if he found his mate, and the day he found her, or the day he met her, he told them. So that's kind of news to us and Serena, but it shows that it's like he means it. It's all in good faith.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything wrong.
Yeah.
Even though they're acting.
And then
he has.
Yeah. Even though technically he has emotionally like but anyway,
I don't understand.
not physically.
Like, obviously none of them have had a mate. Because, like, there's no way you can emotionally stay uninvolved.
Yeah. Yeah. So Serena then says, wouldn't you be able to smell it? And I'm just like, oh my God. But she mentions that she could smell it off of 2 of the seconds. And I'm like, oh my God, just kill me. I would just jump off the cliff. But anyway, Xavier tries to say that they have reason to doubt, but Koen's like not going to stand for it. And Serena kind of gets in between them when it gets a bit heated. And I'm like, you're not helping by telling him to back down. Let him fight with them. Like, but whatever. And she just says that they know Koen and they should trust him. And she's not going to go against his will and, like, make him have sex with her. Anique says that she trusts him, but no other wear is strong enough to keep the Northwest together. And if his worries about Constantine are true, then they're all in his hands. Xavier and Anique leave, and Koen turns on Serena then to be like, who the hell told you about the Covenant? But she doesn't say, she just says that she has her sources. But she asks why he didn't tell her. And he just says that it didn't come up. And I'm like, she has a point.
True.
Like, you should have told her. Oh, yeah. 100% it should have come up. And then Carolina is just there and asks if their mating isn't mutual. And he's just like, yeah, I'm not her mate. And I'm like, nobody knows that. Why do we keep saying it? And Carolina then just says, like, she doesn't feel like Serena obviously doesn't feel the need to obey him. And that she can't remember ever, like, seeing another wear give Koen an order. And Koen just says, well, you know, she isn't fully wear, so maybe that's why. And then Serena's like, well, you guys came over to yell at him. And Carolina says that the Assembly are trained to go against their nature. So, like, they actually train to be like this. So it is odd for Serena to just be able to, like, not care.
Do we think it's a mate thing?
It must be, right? Like, what else could it be? Like, it would make me sad if their relationship was such that he would just boss around his partner and they'd do whatever.
But, like, hang on. When they did that guided meditation thing, she obeyed his alpha tone.
Yeah, and there are other times that she does too, like when he told her to sleep and stuff. So, like, I don't really know. Is it only when he's, like, putting the juice in it?
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't know why I said it like that, but that's how it came out, and I stuck with it.
I love that for you.
Yeah. You don't. It's okay. So, Carolina then introduces herself fully to Serena and says that she's the leader of the Moon Crater's huddle. And Saul is actually her younger brother. And then she asks Serena where she plans to go after all of this. And Serena's just like, it doesn't matter, I'll be dead. But she says that her sister lives in the Southwest Pack. And Carolina says that she's welcome in her huddle, and they're working with more and more humans, so they could use someone with, like, her financial reporting background. Like, okay.
Such a specific background.
Yeah. Serena says that she'll think about it, and she also says that she'd thrive there since she likes Carolina and she likes Saul, so it's a sign. And Koen's just like, it isn't a sign, it's fucking poaching. And then Carolina leaves. Serena turns around after she, like, walks out, and she's just, like, too close to Koen, and she's like, oh shit. And he looks younger and more open now that he's gotten a shave and a haircut. And she just says he looks like that hot guy from that movie. And he asks which movie. And she just says all of them. Which, I don't know why that line, but I just love it so much. I don't know. It just tickles me the right way. So then she just says that, like, he doesn't have to stay with her all day. But he says that they're going out. And that Brina had an idea to figure Serena out. So they're going to go do that. And then he tells her to tuck the shirt in so it looks less like his. And he goes to get ready. Because obviously he just got a shave and a haircut. He's got little hairs all over him. Next paragraph, we just get a little, like, he wants to show her every part of his territory. So they drive a half an hour, and Koen is on the phone for all of it, just dealing with, like, a whole bunch of pack stuff, from, like, swimming lessons to teachers to, like, just random shit that you're like, is this really his job? But it all is. They end up at a farmhouse, and Wolf comes out as a human, a werewolf. A were comes out and introduces himself as Dr. Sem Kane. And Serena's face must, like, visibly drop to the point that he can tell that she's like, what the fuck? Because she thinks that Koen has figured out that she's dying and is like, you need to go see a doctor. But this Sem guy says that she isn't there as a patient or even to see him. They're here to see his grandfather, who is Dr. Silas Kane, and he's an elder and was a pediatrician. So, like, if she was born here in the last, I think they say 60 years or something, he would have seen her. And he would, the way he would know her would be by, like, recognizing her scent. Because, like, obviously you wouldn't know a face if it changed 25 years. So, you know, if she was born in the Northwest, he might have a memory. So they go inside, and we meet Sem's partner, Layla, who is a midwife. And then there's another person that Serena thinks might be his sister. And we get that everyone in the room is a doctor. And Silas makes a joke about them all making him look bad because he'd love, like, a poet or a musician among his family, and they all became doctors. So he says hi to Koen and then calls her a halfling, which confuses her. And I'm like, how does that confuse you?
Because
but, like, obviously it means half and half.
Middle-earth.
Well, yes. She's not a hobbit. It's true. But it means half and half. I'm like, how is that more confusing than any other name they're calling you? But he says that they actually have a bunch of legends about, like, half were, half human, and half were, half vampires. And they're all called halflings. And she kind of thinks, like, she likes halfling more than hybrid because hybrid sounds like a car. Which is kind of funny. And they kind of get into it, and Serena tells him that she would have gone by a different name than Serena when she was born, because she was given that name with child services. And she asks about the legends then, and he says that they likely have some truth to them, and that she probably isn't the first of her kind. And she thinks, like, Juno said the same thing, and apparently hundreds of thousands of years ago, the three species were the same, and then they separated, but no one knows why or how yet, and like there's a bunch of theories about it. But Juno was just like, that's probably why, like, there were a few genetic mutations on, I guess, her mother and her father's side, where in human, that made it so that they could have a child. Silas asks how old she is, and she says 25, as far as they know. Which is another just, like, she just keeps dropping these...
Yeah, and, like,
so sad.
No one cares. No one bats an eye.
It's like, oh, I don't know what my name would have been. Also, I don't know how old I am. Like, it's just so sad. And then she starts to feel nervous. And she thinks, like, he might actually know who her parents are. And they could actually be alive. And she could meet them. And then she's like, would I have to forgive them for my life at that point? Like, so she's not sure she wants him to know. And it's also complicated that he shakes his head and she just feels relief. And they kind of keep talking and say, like, her scent may have changed because she's a halfling or other things might have led to it. But she's just like, I need some air. I'm going outside. And Koen goes to follow her, but she shakes her head because she needs to be alone. Outside is obviously beautiful until she realizes that she's not alone.
Yikes.
There's a young male were there, but she grabs her penguin knife. Sorry, it reminds me of Benedict Cumberbatch when he did he did a penguin National Geographic thing, and he said penguin wrong the whole time. So amazing. A penguin. Anyway. So the guy walks towards her, and then there's a thud, and she, like, whips around, and he calls her Ava, and when she turns around, she has the knife to him, but he's actually on his knees, and he's just kneeling there naked and not attacking her. And she's like, what the fuck is going on? And he says, as the prophet said, as the prophet wills. And she just asks who he is, and he smiles and then just bows lower. I'm like, why is he being so creepy? And then we get Koen's first part of a chapter is, just this once, he could have done without being right. So she just asks this random guy questions, and she debates yelling for Koen, but she's worried that he'll just kill him immediately. And this guy doesn't answer any questions, but just says that her eyes are familiar, and says it's a joy to speak with her. And then he's just like, just flat out asks her to come with him.
Oh, yeah.
And he tells her not to be afraid.
Sure.
Right? And he says that they knew that he would take her. And she's like, what is going on? Obviously, she doesn't understand. But she asks, who is we? And he just says that she must have felt so alone. And she threatens to stab him because he's literally not, like, he's not responding to anything she's saying, really. He's just got his own words that he wants to get out. But he says he understands, but she shouldn't be afraid. The moment has come, and she was made, and so it has become, and his domain will flourish. And she just asks why he called her Ava, and he says that he's always known her as that. And she asks if they grew up together. But he just asks her to come with him again, and obviously she's not going to, because no secondary locations.
Yeah.
So she asks if he's part of the Northwest Pack, and he says there are no packs, no species, no borders. And she just says that if he comes any closer, she'll scream, and someone who's much less nice will come out. And then Koen is just, like, right behind her and says he says he can be nice, but he's not very patient. So she asks Koen if this guy's in the Northwest Pack, and he says no. And Koen, like, pulls her back into him. And he says that he can kill him for being on his territory. But Serena's just like, he doesn't seem to be a danger. And then the boy just says, like, he would rather die than hurt Ava. Eva? I don't know.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. And then he tells Koen that he shouldn't touch her. And he says Koen is not worthy of her. And that they can't keep her here. And he says that he told them, so whoever his group are, which we don't know yet, there was no need to take her, no need for blood, because she will come if she knows that they're waiting. And she's still just like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, will she, though?
Yeah. So Koen says she isn't going, and the boy tells Koen that Serena is his superior in every way, which I'm like, yeah, we already know that. But Serena's just like, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. And the boy, like, pleads with her and asks if she remembers or if she's been told the stories. And we know she doesn't remember anything about, like, her childhood. And obviously nobody's told her any stories. And she says she has no idea who he is. And obviously he doesn't know her either if he's calling her Eva, because that's not her name and she doesn't know that name. So the boy just says, like, if she won't come, he was wrong. And if he's wrong, he has to pay the price. And then he says that it was lovely to stand this close to her and the flesh will be reborn. And he says, Koen Alexander, in another world, not as perfect as this one, I would have called you Alpha.
Oh.
Interesting. And then...
It's so sad.
He's... yeah, it's wild. And he starts to retreat, and he says, we are many, we have learned from past mistakes, and what about you, Koen Alexander? Are you your parents' son? And Koen says that he will catch him if he runs, and the boy says he will pay for what he did, and Constantine will see him shortly. And Koen just says Constantine is dead, and the boy agrees. So I'm like, you're threatening to kill him. That was the point.
Well,
like, not him, but it's a threat to him.
Also, not a City of Bones situation. Because in that, Constantine... No, that's Valentine. My bad. He was alive, even though they said he was dead.
Yes. Yeah. So then the were just runs, but Serena's confused because he's not running back into the forest. He's running towards the cliff edge. And Cohen's surprised too and wasn't ready for that and goes to run after him, but doesn't catch up to him. And the boy just, like, dives off and dies. So he killed himself because she didn't go with him.
I would feel bad.
100%. Literally, next scene, she feels bad, which is fair. So the next chapter, Cohen's thought is he wants to run with her, fuck the rest of the world, he wants her to be safe. I'm like, just do it. Just do it. But obviously can't. So she's back at the house, and people keep telling her that, like, this wasn't her fault. And, like, a lot of his seconds are around, and she knows that they're all there to keep an eye on her, but Koen isn't there, and he's the only one that she wants to talk to, because he would know if it was actually her fault. So she's having a chat with Saul when Koen shows up and asks to talk to her alone. And he just, like, squats in front of her, and she wants to ask for a hug, but she knows that that's not really appropriate. So she goes to ask if it's her fault, but before she can even ask the question, he says that there was nothing she could have done. And she tells him, like, he's the second person to die in front of her in 3 days. And he kind of just makes a... Yeah. He makes a joke that she must be bad news, but, like, she does feel... She's like, Bob was a bad guy, like, that's fine, but, like, she says, like, this kid, he seemed so lucid, and then he started, like, saying nonsense, and then he killed himself. And Koen, like, runs his fingers through her hair, I guess, to, like, comfort her. And he does tell her, like, it wasn't nonsense, and this is bad, and he's not going to lie to her about it. But she's like, is it because of Constantine? And he's like, yes, among the rest of them. And she asks who he is. And Koen says that a were from 2 decades ago that was directly responsible for the death of thousands of wares and humans in the Northwest. And she asks if he's back. But Koen just says he's dead because Koen ripped his heart out, chewed on it for a minute, and then spit it into the ocean.
Amazing.
Yeah. And she's just like, you could have just said that you were sure he's dead. Like, I didn't need that visual. But he tells her that Constantine was the leader of a group and was considered a prophet. So it was cult. And he says the dead boy is too young to have been in the, like, original cult. So obviously there are more members now. There's, like, they've created a new cult from the old cult. But they are checking to see if that boy was related to Serena because they went and got his body. And they think that Serena is likely related to a member of, like, the original cult. And she says that she might be Eva. And he just says, like, your name doesn't matter because she's his killer, which is kind of cute. And he asks if she wants to come with him to meet the assembly. And she's just like, why? And he says the idea of being apart from her makes him want to flip all of the cars here one by one. Which is just so cute. But she's just like, it's not a good idea for her to go with him. To, like, that won't prove his case that he's not emotionally or physically compromised by her. And he's like, fine, good point. And then he's like, on the other hand, fuck it. Which is just kind of funny. But then he asks her to hold her for a minute before he leaves. So they hug, which is good because that's what she wanted to. But, so sad. And she thinks, like, his hug feels faded. But she knows she's dying and that he'll end up heartbroken if anything happens between them. And the pack obviously needs him, so she pushes him away. And he tells her that he'll be back in the morning and asks what she does if anything happens to him. And she says that she'll buy a black veil, pretend she's a widow, and cash in on his life insurance.
Valid.
Which I loved a lot. And he's like, no, you call low. And she's like, well, what about your seconds? And he's like, apparently I trust my seconds with my life, but I don't trust them with yours. I'm like, dude, you need to...
chill.
You need to figure that out if that's true. Like, you should trust your seconds more than you trust the alpha of a different pack. But I'm like, does this mean he trusts misery? I think that's what. But anyway, I'm like, ooh. And he tells her that he has 12 guards with her tonight, including some people on the roof. And she's just like, geez, that's excessive. And she tells him that she's sorry he has to deal with this, which of course he hates. But he says he's going to be pissed if something happens to her. And she's just like, that's a you problem.
Valid point.
I kind of love it. So inside, after he leaves, Serena texts Misery. And she says, would you love me less if my name was Eva? And Misery says yes. And then in a new text, but, like, not by a lot. And then Serena just, like, lies in bed and laughs and cries. Because obviously, whirlwind of a day. So she must fall asleep because she wakes up with a fever and in pain, and she tries to be quiet, but then she remembers that Koen isn't home. And I'm like, you'd think that one of his seconds would hear. If there's someone on the roof, they should hear something inside of the house. But I don't think they do.
Either that or they've been instructed to, like, ignore it.
Not go in. But I'm like, what if somebody got in that they didn't see somehow? What if someone was already hiding in the house? I don't know. Anyway, we have to have it play out like it does. So she decides that she's going to go use his bath because that's more helpful when she's feverish like this. But on the way to his bathroom, she has to stop 3 times, twice to dry heave, and once to just, like, chill because she's doing so badly. And she realizes her claws are out, which is convenient but also interesting. But she's she uses them to, like, pull herself forward and, like, through the wooden walls. And I'm like, you're destroying the house. Her heart is beating so fast, she wonders if it'll stop. And then she finally gets to the bathroom, and it hurts to pull off her clothes, and I guess she's, like, got the water running. And then she looks in the mirror, and her pupils are teeny tiny, and her eyes look huge. And then she says, like, the whites of her eyes look like they're being covered in blood. So, like, her eyes look really fucked right now. And then Koen appears behind her, and she's just like, you need to leave. And he walks towards her, and he smells safe, clean, and healthy. And she just thinks that she wants sex so badly with him right now.
She's in pain, but it's like, I want sex, and we still can't figure out what this is.
So she tells him to leave, because obviously she doesn't want to break his covenant because she's, like, feverish. And he asks her where it hurts, and she's just like, I'm fine, leave. But then she notices her eyes again, and they're worse, and she goes to, like, reach for them, but he stops her and, like, pulls her arms behind her back because her claws are still out, and he's like, you're already bleeding, you're gonna poke your eyes out. But he, like, holds her against him and tells her to calm down and to stop looking at them. And she can't stop panicking, so he just smashes the mirror, and he's like, it's fine, your eyes are back to normal. That's not how that works, but okay. And then he says that she's burning up, and he asks if this is the first time, and she says no, and he calls her a good girl for answering. Woo! And he asks if the cold water helps, and she says yes. So he just, like, sits himself fully clothed in the tub and puts her between his legs. And I'm like, he's just sitting in an ice bath right now. Like, she's got a fever, she needs this. But he's just like, I guess he's probably overheated anyway, but I think their body heat is higher than normal humans. But anyway, he asks if there's anything else that could help, and he's holding her, and she falls asleep in his arms before she can even answer if there's anything else that would help, because she's so comfortable.
And around his smell.
Yep. So yeah, that's where we wrap it up for this week. So next week, I'm assuming we're going to start right back in the bathtub. I actually don't remember. But yeah, that's a wrap for this week. If you guys want to get in touch with us and share your thoughts on anything you heard in our episodes, or if you have any book suggestions, you can reach out to us by email at coffeeandcoread@gmail.com, or on Instagram or Facebook at coffeeandcoread, and coffee.coread on TikTok.
So next week, oh my God.
Your voice.
It's just gone.
It is.
Next week, we're going to be reading Mate chapters 21 to 30 by Ali Hazelwood. So make sure to follow along. And if you're enjoying our chats, don't forget to follow, rate, and review wherever you get our content. Thank you so much for listening to my terrible voice, everyone. We'll see you on the next page. Please.